Hey folks, so it's only been a couple of hours since I recorded the last episode. I had a bit of food, I went for a walk, and I think I came up with a pretty good plan for how to proceed with what we were doing last time. So, as you no doubt remember, since you watched the last one, right? We had this placeholder menu thingy that came up here when we held down the Q key. And all of that was triggered through the in-game UI view model. So we received a message using the so-called raw input system when the key is pressed and when the key is released. And I said at the time that that's well and good, but it won't really do for the final game, because this in-game UI view model doesn't really know, and it probably shouldn't really know a whole lot about the vehicle avatar. That stuff is supposed to be here in this vehicle avatar component. So this is the component that keeps track of what object is which player's avatar, or shall we say, this avatar keeps it uses an avatar tracking component context, which means that it gets notified whenever the avatar changes for the player or for the players. And it has this interesting on became client local avatar. So that means that since Basis is a client server system, the client is what you are essentially looking at. It's the thing that renders the scene. It's also the thing that captures the input. So when this object becomes the client local avatar, it means that this object, where this code is fired, is running locally on the player's machine, and it is the object that just became the client local avatar. So I was thinking this place here, not YOLO, but to do. This would be like send message about available avatar roles. And message sending is sort of broad. It's broadcast in Basis. So you can send. The client can send a message, or something on the client can send messages to anything else on the client, and the server can send messages to other things on the server. They don't propagate over network. It's not a network thing. But here we can do context, we can do send message, and we can send message to, well, whatever is interested in messages. And we can make this in-game UI view model interested in that message. So when something becomes the client local avatar, the avatar component would send a message to whatever is interested in it, letting the system know what roles are available. And I think that is what we will do. So let's do that. Let's add here to game messages. We don't have that many, as you can see, and this message passing system is it's a little archaic perhaps, but it's really handy because it works across the C++ ZIG boundary. In fact, we listen to a whole lot of messages that are sent from the C++ side, etc. So anyway, game logic message. So messages are put into categories. We have a UI category, we have a HUD category, we have a game logic category. Maybe this should actually be in the HUD category, right? So we can call this something like init avatar roles, or something like that, right? Right. Let's have our role list. Init avatar role screen. something like that. And then we need to register them here, and this is where we actually tell which category it goes in. So it's basically just doing this game message dot that, and the category is game message category dot HUD, like so. And right, let's go back to the avatar component. I think I had an enum here for vehicle avatar role type. So these are the roles that we currently support. I think we might want to actually want to move that someplace else, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Let's put a new folder here called gameplay, I think. And in the gameplay folder, we'll create a new file, and we'll call this avatar roles.zig. And we can just take all of this inclusion or import stuff here, and we'll take that and we'll move it here. That means that this won't work anymore. But fear ye not, because we will do pub const avatar roles gameplay avatar roles, and then we can do const avatar roles is means avatar roles and that, and now it works again, like so. Right, and for the time being, this zig file will contain just this role type here, but maybe it shouldn't even be called vehicle avatar role. Let's just call it avatar role type, right? I think that is nicer. I mean, they are currently vehicle avatars, really, or vehicle avatar roles, but they can essentially be anything, and this matches the name of the file as well. So currently this will only hold this one enum, and that's maybe a little excessive. But later we will put in some helper functionality here to, for example, if you have one of these roles, like what is the text that we should put on the screen for those individual roles. And later on we will make that localizable, and etc. etc. Okay, so we have this thing here, and now that we actually know, or now that we move that enum out of here, and it's sort of more easily accessible from different parts of the system, let's figure out where do we read the blueprint properties. Right, so we have them here. Yeah, this is how we can read the blueprint properties. We did this in a previous video, so let's uncomment that. And we don't need that. We don't need really any of this, but we need the roles. Right, so if we have blueprint properties, we have the role here, and actually, I'm sorry, I'm jumping back and forth a little bit between these things, but I think I want to make. We'll see. Basically, what I want to do here is I want to do message parameters, so MSG params or something like that. That would be self context allocate message params. This gives us a message params object, which we can then send along with the message when we send it. So we can do self context send message with params, and we do means dot is it app maybe? Game, no. What is it called? Game messages. Game message, and the message was init vehicle HUD. No, not init vehicle HUD, but init avatar role screen. That's the one we want, and we send the message params along with it. And what we can do here is we can do const role int or something like that. And this can be an i32, for example. What was the type of the enum? Yeah, it's an i32. And then we can do what was it? Int from enum, yes, and role. And what was this? This is the role list. It's just a vehicle avatar role. That should really be a. Oh no. What? Oh right, vehicle avatar role is a struct, and out of that we get the type. So it's really the type that we want. So this would be type. Yeah, I think that is what we want. And then we can push that. So we can do message params add int role int. Right, that should work. So we're iterating over the roles. We get the type out of each role, and we push it to the message params. Do a little bit of cleanup here. Cool. So now then that we, if we go to, so now we're sending this message here whenever something becomes the client local avatar. And actually what we want to do is we want to, I mean, this is what I mean when I say it's a little bit archaic perhaps. What we need to do here is actually we need to prepend this with the number of roles. So we'll just do bpp roles and length, and then we probably need to like the casting was redone. Was it int cast maybe? I think so. Casting was redone quite recently in Zig, and I'm not all that familiar with the new way of casting things, but I think this is what they want us to do. So convert an integer to another integer while keeping the same numerical value. The return type is the inferred result type. Well, it should be inferred because this guy expects an i32, so that should be fine. So then on the other side we can get the first integer out of this, and that will tell us how many additional integers there are, each one representing a role. So yeah, this is perhaps a little archaic and not really type safe, but it is what it is. It is the thing that we have, and it works quite well. So whatever. So we do means, we do game messages, we do game message dot init avatar role screen, and I think we need to do as int, right? Like this, and we can do const roll count, and this would be parameters get int, and then we can do for how the hell did the for loop look like here? It's like probably like my least favorite thing about Zig is how to do these kinds of loops. Actually, I'm not going to copy it because I need to learn how to do this. So let's write it. Let's write it out. So I, and then u32. we have our counter there, and then we have a while loop. While I is smaller than roll count, and roll count really should be written like this. Count. We have I plus equals 1, and then we have the whole thing. So, I mean, we should push these things somewhere, but for now, let's just do this, and we can try to do const roll enum from int. What? How does enum from int work when it doesn't know? The return type is the inferred result type. Okay, so we do means dot game what are roles? Of the role type is int enum from int, and then of course we need to actually get the thing out of here. So const, that would be roll int get int, and that is what we want. Why is it being sad? Oh, it needs. Yeah, I don't know how to do loops in Lua clearly. Okay, so now we have the role, and now we can, for example, print the role, which is not really exciting, but role. We can do it something like boom, and then S or something like so, and then args. We add the role there. I think that should work. Let's build the debug, which is faster. And if it doesn't, and it wants us to have a printf there. Now let's see. It's a bit unclear what wants the S specifier and what does not. But at least Zig is sort of smart enough to give really clear error messages regarding this format thingies. So that's quite nice. Take that away, and then we just do roles. And so now, whenever we let's build release. Whenever we switch to a new vehicle, we should get a list of the available roles for that vehicle. And importantly, we get it from the UI view model, the in-game UI view model, not the actual component which has those. So they will appear here in this screen. So let's do the normal thing, boom, and nothing happened. So so something is not correctly set up, and I immediately know what the problem is. Or I think I know what the problem is. We need to subscribe. So g message node subscribe to message category means game messages game message category, and it was HUD, and that's why I didn't get intelligence. So yeah, we need to tell the system that hey, we are actually interested in the HUD messages. Otherwise, this isn't sent. No, not all messages are sent everywhere. That would be just super inefficient. And that is also why we have the categories to begin with. So now let's see if it works better. Right, so now we got roles, we have role driver, and we have cargo crane, and that is exactly what we set in the data. We set this, we get roles driver, and this should also have just roles driver, and back to this, and we have driver and cargo crane. Cool, okay. So this should be a pretty good pretty good way to send this information. And what I was thinking we would do next is, but here in the UI folder, that is, we would create a new module, and we would call this avatar role selection. Yeah, what would be a good name for this thing? Avatar role selection screen, maybe. Something along those lines. And this is the thing that would contain the whole canvas and everything. Or it doesn't contain it, but it is responsible for rendering it. So we would have something like var canvas, and this would be a goofy UI canvas pointer, probably once again an optional one. That's how we do an optional one, and we can initialize it to null, and that might be enough. No, actually, I think we still need the delegate somewhere. Oh, but the delegate is, yeah, actually, yeah, that might be everything we need. Then we can have pub const init, and we need the HUD view. HUD view is supposed to be written like that. I'm trying to slowly get used to basis like coding conventions, at least a little bit. And what? That's supposed to be fn, not const. Like so, and then we can have a d in it. Is typically nice to have, so that we can just maybe we don't need a d in it. Let's just have an init for now. And in the init, we hook up the canvas. So we do g canvas is HUD view get widget, and this would be goofy UI canvas pointer. The name we will figure out at some point. We don't necessarily know it yet. If we have a canvas, then let's hook it up to a callback for rendering. So let me just copy that. This doesn't need to be public. In fact, it probably shouldn't be public. And it can just be called render. In here we do canvas dot set render callback, and we have let's do this, and then goofy UI canvas pointer. No, it's actually not that. It's just canvas dot render callback init render. Something like that. That should be good. And what else? Yeah, I guess we can just put the rendering code from the previous episode here for now. Just take that away, right? Right, this something with this is not working now. Oh, it's missing that, right? And now it works. Okay. Oh. Yeah, we don't need hello subscribe. We can do something else. Blah blah. Let's make that like white or something. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's better. And we have this kind of wrapped in its own thing. This doesn't actually even need to be like a global, which is kind of nice that we don't need it to be a global thingy. We can quite simply do this like var, and we call this like, this can just be called canvas. Maybe this is nicer, and then that's just C. Nope. Like so. Yeah, like the lifetime is the whole lifetime is managed by the C++ side, by the goofy runtime. We're just getting a widget of this type with this name. We don't know the name yet. Maybe we should know the name. Maybe we should put the name there. Maybe it should be exactly the thing it was before. Avatar role selection screen. Boom. At least for now. If we can find such a thing, we capture it using this. Set render callback, and it's set using this. And that's cool. One thing we need though is that this guy will sort of receive the list of things here, right? That thing should actually render. So we should probably actually add a public. How should we do this? I'm not exactly sure. Let's call this init canvas, and we can call init canvas from this init function here. So yeah, I don't think we need to expose it on this level. We can just keep it as a sort of a almost like a nested thing under this guy. So we can do const avatar avatar role selection screen is import avatar role this exact same thing, right? And call init canvas with the HUD view, which we get from g HUD view, like so. Let's put a line there so that we have the private functions underneath it, and we can have something like pub fun clear clear the screen. That would be, and this would mean that we would actually have some state here, which may or may not be global, but yep, let's keep it like this for now. And then we would have fn add role. Yeah, add role. And role would be means avatar role type. Right. We could do something like const const role list, and yeah, role list is an std bounded array of type avatar role type, and capacity is like what should we put here? Like 16. Probably won't have that many. But yeah, that should be more than enough. And then we can have var g roles is a role list. Like so. And it's undefined. And here we do role list init 0. And yeah, that this is a stupid thing with this. I don't know why it won't let me just let me just init it to 0 without doing a catch undefined. Maybe I'm just not using it correctly. I'm not sure, but I mean we have buffer capacity of 16. We just want to clear it. Nothing's going to go wrong. I assure you, nothing's going to go wrong. Yeah, I mean, we can already see this here. I guess we can just do this by ourselves if we want to, but we could do something like .len 0, right? We can do that. But that's weird. Weird that we have to do that. Something is complaining. Okay, this is complaining. Yeah, there's like void, like so. Now it's not complaining. We can do a debug test. Debug test which tries to analyze code that's not even used and report any errors that might otherwise be skipped if those errors are in SIG code that isn't used. A little bit of coffee. Okay, so now we have the role list here, and when we do add role, we can just do append assume capacity role. Right, and here we can do. Is it clear? No. Len 0. Is that really? Is that how you clear one of those lists? I don't know. Maybe it is. Do we do that somewhere else? Yeah, kind of looks like we are. Yeah, I use bounded arrays in a few places. They're quite handy. You don't need an allocator for them. And I mean, we will never get 16 of those. If we do, then something weird is going on. Okay. So now we can iterate over this thing. We can actually even perhaps draw it, right? So let's do a very, very simple. I'm gonna change this later on, but let's do pub fn get avatar role display name, and role is of this type, role type, and this is going to be a string slice like so, and yeah, we can do switch on role, and then we can do driver was it like this? I think it was like this. Return driver, and this is now where we can later on. Actually, I probably need to have it like this, right? Later on, we can. I will probably actually make it so that this. I think that should just be else. Later on, I will make this so that it returns some kind of localizable string ID. Like I could actually already get the strings out of the enum, but that's not what I want to do in the long run. I want to have a function which returns some kind of localizable string ID, because this is a text that will be visible in the UI. So yes, okay, and now we can do where am I going? I am going into here. Right. Let's just actually let's run this now. See that we get the blah blah on the screen. Yeah, we don't do the visibility thing now. We just want it there on the screen. And as soon as it builds, there we go. And there is our beautiful blah blah text. Okay. So now then, let's try to actually write something more meaningful here. So let's get rid of that. I think I want to search for slice. Yeah. So this is how we do. This is how we iterate over these bounded array guys. So for g roles slice. Yes, just slice. And from 0 onwards, and we get the we just get the roll like this, right? I think so. Yes. Like that. For input is not captured. Is it maybe just the thing? Yeah. Okay, I don't want the index here, so yeah, if you want the index, then you put the I there or whatever you want to capture it as, and then you do that. But I don't think I need the index here. Yeah. So let's do something like var text y is, and let's start at that, but let's actually make it 20 plus 20, and then we can do this, then we can do this. Let's see, 20 as well. We do text y is there, and for the string we do means avatar roles, get avatar role display name role, right? And then we do text y plus equals, I don't know, 20, 30. Right. Let's see if that works. Okay, so yeah, we have no roles. Nothing shows up. If we make that the avatar, still nothing actually shows up. And of course that is because we don't actually call these guys yet. So let's make that happen. Right, so it's here. Avatar, we clear the screen, and then we add the role there. So role. Just return, remove our debug prints here. Yeah, that should work, I think. I mean, this is not the most exciting game development thingy ever. Yay, we have a driver. And now we have a driver and a cargo crane. And now we have a driver again. Cool. So, I mean, really what this sort of demonstrates is just the data flow. You have a component that something happens to. In this case, it becomes the avatar. Or its parent object becomes the avatar of the player. And it can notify the entire system that, hey, this happened. And now our in-game UI view model captures that input and uses it to drive this little selection screen thingy here, which still doesn't actually do anything. But yeah, I think we'll get to working on that in the next part. Cool. My idea kind of worked, even though it's not like a super exciting thing. Still, it worked and gave us exactly what we wanted. So yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna do it. We can drive the visibility and even the selected item, the selected role in that list, probably completely from the vehicle avatar component. Actually, we can do it with goofy properties. So that should be a pretty handy way of controlling it. But yes, that will come in the next part. So this was a slightly shorter thing, but there wasn't a whole lot of messing around. We just basically did what we set out to do, and it works. So yay us. I'll see you next time.